wedding week here on Better Mornings Atlanta. You know, every bride wants to try and stay on budget, but if you've ever planned a wedding, you know it is not easy because there's so many choices and great choices too. Well, Lynn Lilly is the owner and lead event planner for Lily White Events. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. We're very excited about wedding week because you brought great things for us this morning to show us. So this morning we were talking about ways to kind of stay on budget and ways that brides can cut down on, you know, a lot of those things because you want to make sure to entertain your guests,
right,
but you got to stay on budget. All right, so we're going to start over here, right?
Right. We work with a great florist called 2000 AD, and they work in many different budgets. So we kind of wanted to showcase what brides can do in different aspects of different budgets. Right here, we obviously have a very extravagant display. Makes it a little bit more expensive because we've got the multiple stems and the cascading waterfall. We've got the premium flowers in here, the roses, the hydrangeas, the calla lilies, and also a premium vase that they're using in decorative votives. If you take a look over here, this is for the bride that's on a budget. She's got a little bit less money to spend, so we go with the simple geometric containers and also using single stem flowers. This takes a lot less design time, so that will take it down a lot. Also, if you take a look, there is a premium overlay linen on this. This also drives up your price a little bit. So if a bride that's on a budget can use a standard linen that would usually be provided by her venue. Also, if you take a look over here, we've got these votives, which are a little bit premium votives. Brides can take a simple votive that they can supply on their own. That's why this florist is so great. They work in multiple budgets and make suggestions like that, coming in and speaking with the bride and seeing where she's at and really getting that beautiful design for her in her budget.
And you can keep it simple and basic. I don't think your guests are going to mind at all.
Right. It still looks beautiful. As you can see, obviously it's a little bit more extravagant. You've got more flowers, a lot of design time, and a lot more materials go into this one. It's a gorgeous display. But if you are on a budget, this is still equally as beautiful.
Absolutely.
And it's the same exact florist.
And we do want to talk really quickly about the case because you have a beautiful selection over here if we come over to the side. Right. So, because that can really drive up the cost of a wedding, a cake.
Right. Cakes can be one of the most expensive aspects. We work with Sweet Infinity Cakes, who is wonderful on working with a bride who's on a budget or designing an extravagant cake. You can take a look at these, and I'm sure you can guess which one you think is the most expensive cake. We have this one in the center here, and the things that go into it that make that so expensive is the extreme detail and design, using fondant. These flowers right here are all edible, all made out of sugar. So if you are a little bit stricter of a budget, you can go with a smaller tier cake that can be made out of buttercream rather than fondant.
The one on the end, and those are just fake flowers.
Right.
You just pluck those off when it's time to cut them.
Very easy. And also what goes into the cake is what determines the cost of your cake. So if you're going to use a simple, just a simple filling, you can use, upgrade it with like a raspberry filling. That's also going to drive up your cost.
And real quick, this one right here.
This one also can be done in a buttercream rather than a fondant. You can see using simple ribbon on here, it's not as much design time, so that's a great aspect for a bride to think about. Rather than going with, you know, super stenciled work that takes a lot of time, you can use simple ribbon.
Absolutely, and you'll be back in the next hour to give us some more great ideas as well. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Cakes are beautiful, whether you can eat it all or not. Yeah, they look great. Now, if you want more information, of course, about Lily White Events, just go to the BMA section of CBSAtlanta.com. Click on links mentioned on the show. We've got one for you right there. It is wedding week here on Better Mornings Atlanta. Of course, every bride wants to try and stay on budget, but if you've ever planned a wedding, you know that's not easy because stuff can get pretty expensive. And there's so many choices out there. Well, helping us stay on budget this morning is Lynn Lilly, the owner and lead event planner for Lily White Events. Welcome to you. Good morning. And you actually brought some beautiful brides, your soon-to-be brides, and in these lovely dresses. And these both look gorgeous, but there is a way to stay on budget even with the wedding gown.
There is. Both of these brides have been outfitted by Formerly Yours, which is one of our favorite bridal boutiques in Lilburn, Georgia. You can see that they both have a very couture look. I'm sure you can guess a little bit which one is the more expensive one.
I would guess a few more frills and laces over here.
Right. We've got this Maggie Sortero, and this is obviously the more expensive one. She's got more of the ruching, and she's carrying a more dimensional bouquet from 2000 AD, one of our favorite florists. But then we can still have this couture look over here with Maury Lee. You can actually get this dress for under $500.
Wow.
That's what we love about Formerly Yours, because you can get your high-end couture look and then also still have your couture look on a budget. You can see both of these dresses have the corset closures in the back.
Oh, gorgeous.
So you both get that, and they both do have a small train. Something we do think is really fun, and Formerly Yours recommends for brides that are on a budget, taking a veil, possibly from your mother or your grandmother and using that. It doesn't cost you anything. Or also taking a piece of vintage jewelry, adding that in from a great aunt or a grandmother. And one of the fun things that formerly horses they've been seeing brides doing is taking shoes, either fun cowboy boots or, or some kind of funky sneakers or those fun colored stilettos and adding those to it as well. And that also cuts down on your cost.
Yeah, because it really is about the bride, and of course you want a lovely dress, but you don't want it so overwhelming that no one notices you, the bride.
Exactly, right. And the same thing with your bouquets. You know, you could have that couture full look, but it also still looks beautiful to have this simple bouquet.
What's the number one tip you can give to those brides to be out there in order to stay on budget? Because there are so many choices.
I would say number one, first of all, get the look you want and have fun with it. I think the more fun you have with it, and the more fun things you add into it that are your own or something from your family, it adds more to it. You kind of bring in that stuff from moms, from grandmothers, and it also helps you stay on a budget and it adds that fun effect and something you can talk about at the wedding. I really think that's probably my number one thing to recommend to brides.
Yeah, it is all about the memories. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bryce, thank you. You look gorgeous, of course. Very, very beautiful. And if you want more information about any of the